Hi people, it's me again, Morino Ravenberg. Yeah, it's video time again. In this video, I'm going to discuss a neutral topic, specifically self-confidence. In today's world, I don't know if that was always the case, but especially today, I don't know if that's the case factually, but just so to speak, at least in today's world, it's almost like you're attacked from all sides with things that can undermine your confidence and self-assurance and reassurance in yourself, and that's why depression and suicide rates and so on are at an all-time high. I mean, the world nowadays puts an immense strain on people mentally. I think more than ever before in the past. Never before was life so strenuous, was life so hectic to the point where other people feel almost like the weight of the world is on their shoulders and they simply can't handle it, and they either end up spiraling out of depression or they have a mental breakdown and so on and so forth. Again, I don't know if this is the case factually, I'm not stating that, but I'm saying that that is the case metaphorically speaking at least. And I'm simply going to discuss how you can keep your shit together, again, so to speak, how you can keep your act together and how you can keep things together. You can keep your sanity together, if you will, and to simply not lose faith in yourself, in your life, and your existence as a whole as a human being. The first thing is, and here it comes again, social media. Social media, I think, has never been as prevalent and as expansive as it currently is. You've got 20,000 social media apps, and that so many people are on, and so many people post things on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people post things that they do on a day-to-day basis. I mean, every step they take, almost they record and they upload to the internet. I personally find it ridiculous. I wonder, and I told someone today, I wonder where these people get the time, and who in God's name is going to watch that? I mean, imagine me coming home and doing a vlog or putting it on my Facebook status or my Facebook story, putting 10 things like that, or on my WhatsApp status to literally place everything I do. I'm eating a sandwich. Oh, look, me eating a sandwich. I mean, it sounds idiotic to any person that has a good head on his or her shoulders. And I don't have time for that. I post things and updates about my personal life that are worth mentioning. You know, if I went somewhere where I never went before or something to that equivalency. Something along those lines. In any case, nowadays it's easy and a lot of people do stuff like that. And it's easy to get discouraged when you have friends or families, for example, or to feel inferior if you have friends or family, or whether it's classmates, you name it, acquaintances, people that you used to know. And you see that these people, or even total strangers, and you see that these people are doing better than you are. These people are posting, things where they go to, things they do. Ignore the dog in the background. Just ignore any of these things, because the thing is, and I know this, I've noticed this, and it's been the case for years, that people, especially women, do something that I find ridiculous too. But yeah, whatever, women, we all know. Men, for one, know how insane and how nuts women are. So yeah, man. In any case, I'm not attacking any woman here. It's just that you're metaphorically insane, women. Even women will agree to this. Especially women, but people in general have the tendency to glorify themselves on social media. I mean, if you were to judge these people based on their profiles, you'd say that these people are all globe-trotting hotshots. These people went to vacation on Cancun in Mexico. They did this, they did that. These people try to make themselves come off as being almost walking gods, walking, talking gods. And you, if you're a realistic person, you lead a normal, mundane lifestyle. Life consists of home, work, taking care of the things you need to take care of, and so on. Then a lot of people have this problem. They start feeling insecure. It's easy to feel insecure and to feel like everyone else is living it up besides me, everyone else is enjoying their lives, and look at how successful all of my acquaintances and friends and colleagues are, and I'm just sitting here, not doing anything, and I'm a loser. And it's easy to have thoughts like that take a hold of you and they keep lingering in your mind. And the message that I'm giving is clearly don't. It's all an illusion. Okay, believe me, if you see these people in reality, they're just as mundane as you. They lead the same lives you do. They have to go to work, they come home, they eat, they sleep, and it just goes on. They just try to over glorify themselves by either putting up a shitload of makeup and then taking a picture from the perfect or ideal angle that they've been trying on for an hour or 2 hours. They place numerous pictures of one tiny mini vacation they went to in a place that maybe even the working place or the place that they worked at or their employer sponsored for kind of like a retreat or a getaway. That's what I mean, okay? These people, they try to sell themselves, they do a ridiculous job of doing so, in doing so. I mean, it's the same thing as companies, okay? If you were to judge a company based on their social media platform and based on their website, then you'd say that every company in the world is ideal almost. Because companies will never admit to their own shortcomings because it's bad for business. A company will never say, listen, we have this and this and that, but we don't have that, truth be told. No. They're either going to hide it in the fine print, in the small letters, and only when you read the terms and the conditions under which you use their services or products. Only when you go through stuff like that, and no one goes through it except a lawyer for legal reasons in case you get sued or vice versa, only then will you see it in the fine print. But for the rest, almost every business out there over glorifies themselves, and unfortunately we've gotten at a point in existence where people do the same thing online. You know, social media is something personal. I honestly am of the opinion that you shouldn't sell yourself like that, let alone the ridiculous rate at which they do it, the exaggerated rate at which they do it. They literally just try to advertise themselves to the world, and they try to make it come off as if they're leading glorious lives, like they own 20 jets and they own 50 cars, all SUVs, and it just goes on. They're filthy rich, they're this, they're that, life is a doozy. Yeah, it's pure bullshit, okay? It's nothing but an illusion. A lot of people try, especially women, they try to make their lives come off that way, like they've got everything together, but their lives, when it comes down to it, are just as mundane as the average person. For example, with me, what you see is what you get, because I'm genuine. I'm not insulting anyone out there and saying that the people that do stuff, what I just mentioned, are fake. But my point is that I'm genuine. With me, what you see is what you get. If you go on any of my social media networks, if you go on my Facebook profile, you name it, what you see there is pretty much the kind of person I am. You know, if you were to observe me, if you really were to wade through my profile, you were to look at every picture, etc., then you get an idea on the kind of person I am and the kind of guy I am, and you know, the things I do for fun and so on. If you were to just check out every one of my online presences, you'd be able to profile me. But with the other people that I just mentioned that over glorify themselves almost, it's almost like a personal form of fraud. Because once you get to know these people, you'll see that they're nothing like what they are in reality. I mean, they are in reality, they're nothing like what the way they portray themselves in their profiles. They're like wannabe celebrities, bluntly put. The same way that people think that celebrities are ideal and perfect, but only idiots think like that. In reality, if you see the way celebrities live in reality, the only things that they have got going for them is wealth, for example, maybe good looks, depending. But that's it. For the rest, their lives are just as mundane as any other person. They need to go to work, they need to do mundane things, they need to travel, they need to eat, they need to sleep. The same stuff, the exact same stuff. And again, let alone the way you see they look in reality. And reality, again, it's all nothing but an illusion. And don't let that discourage you. That's what I'm telling you simply. Don't get taken aback or don't get discouraged if it seems like a lot of other people are successful or are happy and you are not. It does not matter, okay? Because it's all a lie. in general. It's all a lie. Their lives are just as mundane as yours, but the only difference is that they're trying to sell themselves to the public and the world out there. They're trying to paint this false idyllic or idyllic picture of their lives being perfect, when that's absolutely not the case. Their lives are just as mundane as yours. They lead the same life you do, more or less, you name it. So that's point one. Point two, point one shortly summarize this. If it seems like I said, if it seems like your colleagues and people out there are leading better lives than you are, that's generally speaking a lie. That's nothing but an illusion from their part out. So don't get taken aback by that. The second point that I'm going to come to is this one. Don't compare yourselves to other people, because that's the mistake that a lot of people make. Life is like a rat race. Everyone is trying to get ahead in whatever way, shape, and form, and people love to constantly compare their lives to that of others. The second someone does better than them, whether it be financially or in any other aspect of life, they feel like their confidence is being undermined. They feel lesser. They feel, like a loser. They feel like they failed and so on. And again, the message is loud and clear. Do not compare yourselves to others. Why not? Because you're not like other people. Everyone else is different, even if it's in the smallest, most minusculest of ways. Even twins are still different up to a certain point. There has to be something, even if it's just at a molecular level, there has to be something that separates them, something that sets them apart. My point is that you can't compare yourself, and nor should you compare yourself to someone if, for one, if you're different, because people are different from each other. People are born in different positions. They've cultivated different positions. They've obtained different statuses. You name it. We're all different, whether it be physically or regarding background or regarding location. So geographically, we all find ourselves in different environments and conditions, whether it's demographically, geographically, or otherwise. We all find ourselves in a different position economically. I'm not saying that you should strive towards being all that you can be and accomplishing as much as you want to accomplish, but do not compare yourselves to others and then think lesser of yourself or think less of yourself just because someone else is doing better than you are. Regardless of how hard you do your best or you try your best, there will, at least metaphorically speaking, always be someone else out there that is doing better than you are. Doesn't matter how well you do for yourself, there will always be someone out there that has accomplished just a bit more than you. So comparing yourselves to others is useless because you're not them. Each and every one of us have our own lives. We all have our lives that we're supposed to deal with, and we all find ourselves in vastly different positions, more or less. And based on those reasons alone, like I said, it's obvious. Do not compare yourself to others, because if you make the mistake of doing so, you're doing nothing but literally undermining your own self-confidence. You're undermining the faith that you have in yourself and your capabilities in relation to your own life. Even if you have accomplished nothing and you've hit rock bottom and life is nothing but misery, do not make the mistake of comparing yourself to others, because the others aren't you, nor are you them. You can't compare yourself to them because they're not you. They haven't led the life you have, and vice versa. You have not led the life that they have. So you need to fixate yourself on your own life. Stay focused on your own life and live life at your own pace, to whatever extent or to whichever extent you're able to. Just take life at your own pace, at its own pace, and focus on your own life. Don't focus on what other people are doing and what others have done. I mean, you can observe all of that. You can take an interest in what others are doing, but do not make the mistake. You can take an interest in the rest of the world, but do not focus specifically on what others are doing in a comparative way, in the sense that you're going to compare yourself to other people comparative wise, or in a competition like manner or team. Oh, that person just bought a Rolls Royce, that person bought a ridiculously expensive car, I wish I had that. What does that person do for a living? He or she must do this, he or she must do that. No. You know, focus on your own life, your own existence. You lead your life for others. You don't live for you lead your life for yourself. I mean, you don't lead your life for others. You don't live your life for other people. Okay, regardless of what happens to you, the world will keep turning and spinning. It doesn't matter. You can die tomorrow, the world will keep on spinning. The world isn't going to stop just because you died. No, you lead your life, your existence is just that. It's your existence. Other people have their own existences to focus on. But you'll find that you'll be doing a lot better if you just focus and fixate on your own life. And you don't constantly try to compare yourself to others along the lines of a racehorse trying to run a race with other racehorses and then falling behind and feeling lesser as a result, or simply feeling less or inferior as a result and or inferior. Focus life on yourself, just focus on your own life and stay focused on your own existence and the story. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's, for now at least, all that I have to offer in the way of tips and advices for keeping your sanity and self-confidence and mental well-being overall together. Because it's easy to get discouraged in a world where, like I said, almost everything is a rat race. Everyone is trying to get ahead in whatever way they can, whether there be any moral implications or not. It doesn't matter what people have to do. You'll find people out there that are willing to resort to any measure. People that have no self-worth whatsoever and that will do anything, however malevolent it may be or sound, or however cruel it may be or sound, to get ahead, to simply have more than you have or to possess more than you have, whether it be immaterially or materially. So in order to simply keep your self-confidence together, you simply need to adhere to the points that I adhere to. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on your own existence, on your own life, because it is just that. It's your life, it's your existence, it's not theirs. You don't live and lead your life for them. You lead and live your life for yourself primarily. And everything else comes in second place, so to speak. And for the rest, like I just said, don't be taken aback by social media. Don't don't fall into the trap of thinking that the rest of the world is doing much better than you are, because it's easy to think that if you go online and if you compare yourself digitally to others as well as in real life. Because in general, it's nothing but an illusion. These people might do better than you are in one or two or certain facets of their life, certain aspects of their life. But in general, it is almost always the case that their lives are just as mundane as yours, and they are either just as bad off as you are or as well off as you are. That simple. And last but not least, I'd also like to mention that, make no mistake, okay, people will do whatever it takes, and they try to hide their shortcomings. They try to hide their shortcomings from society. They try to make it come off as if they're ideal and perfect, when that's absolutely not the case. It's quite the opposite. But as the saying goes, people simply don't want their dirty laundry hanging out, and nor am I saying that they should. But don't make the mistake. There's also another general saying: everyone has their own problems, and every house has its cross, so to speak. So that means that every person has his or her burdens, and you're not the only one. Keep that in mind. That everyone else has to deal with some unpleasant situation in general, the same way you do, regardless of how much they try to make it appear as if it's absolutely the contrary, as if it's the other way around. They're still real people with real problems and real issues that they need to deal with in life, and their lives are just as real as yours. Okay? They don't have some fairy tale life where they can do as they please and they can snap their fingers and life is all nothing but sunshine and rainbows to them. No. Regardless of how wealthy they are, regardless of how healthy they are, regardless of how good looking they are, and so on and so forth, at the end of the day, they're still people just like you, and they're also going to die the same way we all have to die, just like you. Regardless of who you are, all of our graves will be the same, and one thing is sure is that we are heading to a grave. We all gotta go sooner or later, and they're real people just like you. They're not fictitious people and so on. No. They're real just like you. So all of this stuff, keep all of this stuff in mind, and you'll be fine mentally. You'll be able to keep your self-confidence at a moderately, realistically high level. You won't be overconfident, nor will you be underconfident, and you'll simply feel more at ease with yourself, and you'll feel comfortable in your shoes. And that's it. Bye.